Anything else? We're live?
A little boxing, a little NFL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's happening, y'all? It's MoSports TV on a motherfucking Sunday. Let's go. You already know what time it is. I'm with the gang. Uncle Mike and Matt G.
What's going on?
And myself, Cmo Sports. It is round one recap, round two preview. We'll probably talk some rap too a little bit because
oh yeah.
turn
Let's go Knicks, baby.
motherfucking New York
Yes.
is in the motherfucking house. We're going to round two. We ain't really get to talk our shit the way we wanted to.
No.
You know, we typed a lot of shit, but we ain't really
I ain't get.
we ain't really get to talk our shit.
Yeah.
So fuck it. You want to start with that or?
Oh man, yeah. Let's recap this first round. First things first, man. The New York Knicks handled business in
Got
6
it done.
games against the Philadelphia 76ers. I'll be straight up. Tyrese Maxey, you are a dog. I got to
Yes.
give a round of applause for Tyrese Maxey. He was incredible this series. And if it wasn't for him and his play, the Sixers probably get swept. And it's just hats off to show, like, it's his team, in my opinion. And Joel Embiid is who we all thought he was, and maybe a little bit worse when it comes to his, temper tantrums.
Well, Knicks in 6, right? If it wasn't for their two big dogs, they probably would have got swept because obviously Embiid got a 50 ball, their one win,
Yep.
and then Maxey had his incredible fourth quarter in the game. What?
That was game 5. That was
Game
game
five?
5 to save them.
Yeah, but it honestly, it was an amazing series. I'll tip my cap to the Sixers. You know, I fucking hate Philly, but I'll give respect
fought.
where
They fought.
respect
Yeah.
is due. Every single game was close.
Yeah,
Right.
They fought.
Every single game was a dogfight. All right. It was not an easy series, but I'm very happy as a Knicks fan. We went through that series first.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we are
Iron
battle
sh-
tested.
Iron
We are
sharpens iron. Yeah.
we are hard. We are hardened. Pause from this run from this playoff series, and now we are built to play a team like Indiana in the second round.
Yep.
Indy, on the other hand, they played a Dameless, Giannis-less Bucks team.
Yeah.
It was
They what they were supposed to do.
Yeah. No.
they
did
won,
exactly
and
what they
I
were supposed to
respect,
do.
but you know what I'm saying, they weren't battle tested. They
Yeah.
weren't really.
Right. They
You
didn't have
know.
a war. They didn't face anybody on the level of
Right.
the New York Knicks or the 76ers. And one thing that I've been saying to a lot of my friends is that I was very encouraged by this Knicks win, mostly because Joel Embiid is going to be the hardest opponent you're going to have to face in terms of an individual player in the Eastern Conference.
Even if he was
Outside,
hurt.
if Giannis wasn't hurt, I think Giannis
Right.
was a better
Yeah. No, but there's nobody else in
Yeah.
this East
He's
that's left.
dominant. Yeah.
One player that's as dominant as Joel Embiid. And not only that, but Joel Embiid was the one guy in the East that could highlight the Knicks' weak spot, and that's the size of their starting center, Isaiah
Mhm.
Hartenstein. We saw the whole series how he kind of bullied Ihart, but when Mitchell Robinson, man, the demon's home.
The demon's home, pussy.
Yep. Mitch Rob was back, and he was incredible. You saw the defensive, the rim protection he brought, the defensive prowess that he brought over to Joel Embiid. He frustrated him, and that
Mhm.
ultimately, I think, is what got the Knicks that series is Mitchell Robinson's presence.
Especially in the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid, being that he was about 60%,
Right.
he
was
could.
hobbled.
He was very active in the first half, pretty much, and
Yeah.
then it would get
wear
slower
him
and
down,
slower and slower. By the fourth, he could barely get off out in the air. He couldn't even get in the air.
Right.
He was getting out rebounded. He couldn't score, especially when they put Mitchell Robinson in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And
He doesn't change. He doesn't adapt his game to to what's going on. If you're hobbled, why are you starting so far away from the basket? Go plant yourself in the paint and get some easy buckets with that.
he
with
played
that
a lot
side
of
advantage.
perimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of perimeter
For someone
ball.
with that big size advantage, he didn't do a whole lot of backing down. He did every time he got the ball, it was like 3rd and 1. Looked like Earl Campbell going for a first down.
And he was very slow.
Yes,
Like
with that leg.
he couldn't get up and down the court. Even though the Knicks aren't a fast-paced team, we were still outrunning the Sixers a lot. Like
Right.
We did a lot of like outlet passes. We did a lot of running the court because it was 4-on-5 situations a lot of the time when
you stuck him, he was stuck at the other end. Yeah.
It was frustrating watching the Knicks play as much half-court basketball as they did in some of the games. Watching them roll the ball up when it wasn't really necessary and kind of play that half-court style, it was almost like we were playing to their game.
So
like
playing down. Yeah.
If there was anything that Joel Embiid wants, he wants you to walk the ball up the court and have him get time in his defensive scheme.
Right.
Literally, the Sixers are the slowest team in the NBA. Like that's an actual statistic fact. What up, I mean? What's good, baby?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the Clippers and Mavs.
Shame Kawhi wasn't healthy. That's really like it's
that's
just so dumb,
disgusting
bro.
to just keep watching.
I'm kind of over Kawhi.
Yeah,
I'm over him. Man.
I'm over it.
We got our own
man.
Kawhi. we got Kawhi Jr. at number 8 at small forward. So,
but shout out to Luka, Kyrie too. Like Kyrie had a hell of a series. Let's just say the Clippers. Let me say one thing. Let's just say the Clippers are very, very lucky that Kendrick did what he did last night?
Right.
When they got eliminated?
Right.
The whole narrative is on the Drake Kendrick beef right now. And not enough talk about how badly these guys folded.
Playoff
once
team.
again. They're not it in the playoffs. And I always have a bias against these old stars, right? Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, LeBron, AD.
They don't want to let it
these
go.
These older stars, Kevin Durant.
Let it go, bro.
Like these guys are their time is done.
That's
the young guys are here.
They're here.
Anthony Edwards is here.
Jalen Brunson is here.
Brunson's here. Like the young boys are playing ball. SGA is here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, SGA didn't post that trade again for no reason. He remembers, right? Paul George had an absolute stinker of a series, and SGA remembered that.
Paul George hasn't done much of nothing lately. He shows a flash once a week. He'll show a flash, and then it's nothing.
I don't know if I mean, we talked about him potentially being a target for the Knicks. I don't even know if I want what he brings to the table.
All that money for a part-time stats.
Yeah, and nothing in the playoffs.
Right.
Honestly, if I'm the Knicks, I'm not really doing anything this offseason but re-signing my guys.
Right.
I don't think I make a move. Honestly, Devin Booker would be the one where I would be like, okay, I'm not that mad that we made a move, but like it would have to be a perfect trade situation.
To be a good score.
And I just love this core so much that like it would have to be a package. They'd want Hart, they would want Deuce, they would want, a few firsts.
They would break up the Villanova guys. And I don't think that's worth it. I mean, it is because Devin Booker is Devin Booker, right? I'm happy if we get Devin Booker, but we would have to give up Julius Randle. We would probably have to give up DiVincenzo, and we have to probably give up a bunch of firsts, which I'm not worried about the first, but
those are two guys that are the heart and soul of this team. Like there have been big impact players. Both Randle is a foundational piece and has been there from when the Knicks got out the mud, and DiVincenzo has been pivotal this season in his 3-point percentage and the chemistry of this team. And let's be honest, he played incredible defense against Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. Nah, he played great defense. Tyrese Maxey still got his, and shout out to Tyrese Maxey once again. I got to shout him out once again because like he's really proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I thought he was on the level of, I don't want to say quickly, but they were comparable players before the season started.
Right.
Now he is a perennial all-star. He's going to be an all-star every single year for the rest of his career until he's washed.
Right.
Guy was
another scorer over there.
And Kyle, I think I want to say
Paul George to Philly would be a move.
I think it's Embiid. I don't think Paul Reed is under contract. I was talking to Sean Bernard from Fox the Gambler. They have Ricky Council under, and they really like him as a young piece as well. So I think Jimmy Butler has a chance to return. If you want to talk about Miami and Boston, Miami is up out of there, and rumor has it Jimmy's going to command $50+ million a year
for 2 years, I think. Right?
Yeah,
he wants like 100 and something, 120
he's
something,
in Cancun,
118 for 2 years or something crazy.
It's ridiculous. He's in Cancun. He's making comments about the Celtics, about the Knicks, about Josh Hart, who
going outside.
It is. It really is. It's pathetic. There's nobody that really cares. It's just his PR team is working their magic, trying to get him a bag this offseason. And I think Philly could be a candidate for a reunion.
Philly's gonna get somebody. What is the future? What is the future move for Philly? Because they have
I think it's Jimmy.
A
I do
couple-
think it's Jimmy.
Two
You need
people
another
on
scorer,
contract,
yeah.
right? They only have, like Kyle said, there's only three Sixers on contract.
Maxey, Embiid, and Ricky Council, I believe.
They're gonna make some moves this offseason. Let's keep it real. They're gonna get a good wing scorer, and that could be
Because
a Paul George or a Jimmy Butler. That can very well happen.
Proven that he can't be relied on.
Yeah.
He
No, I
can't
mean,
be
it gets
relied on. He's always hurt.
you get to April and Embiid's run down. And I
Yeah.
mean, this was honestly the best opportunity that they had. You thought, hey, we kind of got the injury out of the way in late February, early March. We could get away with him being hurt right now. We're still going to be in the playoff hunt. Maxey kept them above water. Then all of a sudden you get to, May and he's still hurt.
I don't
just-
think Jimmy goes there though. I don't think Jimmy wants to go to Philly though.
I feel like he would if they were like, here's $55 million a year for the next
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
Sorry about the Tobias Harris thing.
Yeah.
Right. That's
And
the only way.
It's
But
Daryl Morey, so I feel like he's the type. Like Daryl Morey's kind of a cuck to me. So where he could, like sorry, but he'd be the type to be like, oh Jimmy, we're so sorry, like kissing his feet, and like they would want him back very desperately. But I could see Paul George too. Rumors had it Brandon Ingram was a name getting
BI.
tossed around.
the New Orleans Pelicans said that they're not going to extend. They officially said they're not going to. Well, I don't think they officially said it, but the rumors are they're not going to extend Brandon Ingram.
Right.
Where could he possibly go? Obviously, he could possibly go to Philly. I was thinking a team like Dallas would be a great fit for Brandon Ingram.
It would. They could use.
They need a wing.
scorer.
They need a wing scorer, and I think that would be a really great fit.
Dallas gets him. It's
That's tough.
I mean, Dallas is really tough right now, and they have no wing play, like zero. Like it's PJ
Yeah.
Washington. It was Kleba. So I don't know, but Luka is enough of a wing to where when Kyrie's playing well as a guard, you could keep Luka almost as like a 3. So
Mhm.
it's been good stuff for the Mavs. I could see that as well. And so I think if you are a team like Dallas looking for a wing player, I would tap into the Brandon Ingram, Paul George sweepstakes. If you're a team like, who else can really use a wing? I mean, sheesh, man. Minnesota has the cap space to go out and get another
Do
player.
they?
Yeah, they could go out and get somebody to add to next to Anthony Edwards because both him and then you have sure, they got KD, but guess what? We got Jaden McDaniels. And Jaden McDaniels is still on a rookie deal. So it's like you got these young guys on good deals. They're going to have to get paid eventually, but they still have some money to spend. I think a team like Minnesota could be something. Oh, Houston's a good point too, because Houston was just on the cusp of playoffs.
You know who I want to see start really acquiring some decent players and really start going for some good players is the Spurs.
Yeah.
I
Their
would
time
love
is
to
now.
see the Spurs get like a Trey Young or like Wemby needs a point guard.
He does.
Wemby needs a point guard. He needs a number 2 guy that he can rely on.
What about Donovan Mitchell? I feel like that could be somebody. I don't know if he's maybe too much of a ball handler and like he needs the volume type.
I just don't see Cleveland letting him go.
BI
until-
in San Antonio.
that could work.
If Cleveland
could
loses
work.
this, wait, what's the score right now? Because I know that they're playing.
It's game 7 right now.
It's right now. If Cleveland loses, this is a big series for them in terms of their appeal to Donovan Mitchell in the future.
Cleveland's something else, man, because Donovan Mitchell just put up, 50-something points?
They're down 10 at halftime.
They put up 50-something points 2 nights ago, and they still lost. And now the Magic are up 10 in game 7 at half, you said.
You know what kills them? Again, their wing play. I mean, their best wing is either Max Strus or Karis LeVert, and that's not going to get it done for you.
Isaac Okoro.
Yeah, for a weak ass. Donovan's playing like trash right now. He's got his 15. He's shooting 3 of 13 from the field. That's not going to get it done.
And that's the point I make about Donovan Mitchell is, hey, he has amazing games, but it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's very inefficient. And it either makes the team or breaks the team. But even when he's good,
The team
They still
isn't
lose.
great, right? Like when
they
he's
still lose.
Donovan Mitchell can be at his absolute best. And even during the Knicks series last year, we saw flashes of like, man, this guy is just a flamethrower. And even then, the rest of the team just lets him down. We're constantly going back to say Evan Mobley needs to improve. It's like he took a leap after his freshman
Mobley
year,
stinks,
his
bro.
rookie year, and he's garbage.
He's
bro.
a stinker, bro.
Mitchell Robinson might have ended his career last year. Him and Jared Allen both. I mean,
exposed him.
it was really, really bad. Let's talk about on the other side of that matchup, man. The Orlando Magic are here. You saw Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce talk about on their podcast. Orlando is not a place you want to go down. You think you could just enjoy a night out in Florida, you know, in downtown Orlando. No, it's going to be war that next day when you go into, you know, that Magic Arena. I love what they have going on over there, and I think they're going to be here for a while.
This is what I got to say about Orlando. Obviously, Paulo is that guy, right?
Him.
But who's really getting slept on here that really, I feel like, made the real difference is Jalen Suggs, bro.
He's him.
Jalen Suggs has finally came out and is finally being that top 5 pick that he got drafted to be.
Here come the
He's
comments
playing great
about
defense.
him.
He's shooting very well from 3.
Right.
He's making shots off dribble. He's playing winning basketball.
I don't want to hear about him being 1 for 7 right now, though. He's had a great series. He's had an awesome series.
Yeah, I don't care if he's 1 for 7.
Paolo's got 24 and 8 at the half. That's that guy. He is that guy, man. He's a dog. And if honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think Paolo, I said this, he's going to be the next coming of like he reminds me of Syracuse Carmelo mixed with like some traits of LeBron, young LeBron in him. And I think he's next up to take over the league. I don't want to go ahead and say that like it's going to be him, Wemby, Anthony Edwards, but I really do think those are going to be the 3 top players come like 5 years from now.
5 years from now, that's a fair assumption. That's a fair assumption. Can we talk about how shitty the fucking Phoenix Suns are?
Matt Ishbia, however you pronounce it. Oh my goodness. I mean, he made trades this season as if he was playing NBA 2K, and none of it worked out, man. I don't know where you thought this was going to go.
He did the trade generator and it was just mashing trades. And like, I knew it was a recipe for disaster when they got Bradley Beal.
Right.
And it's the worst contract in the NBA, first and foremost. He doesn't play defense.
He was injured coming into it with these back
and
problems.
he's not a true point guard.
It doesn't make
He's not a true
sense.
point guard, period. And like, they should have kept CP3. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. They should have kept CP3 there. If CP3 was in that starting lineup with all 5 of them, that would have been decent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had Booker at the 3, Beal at the 2, Durant at the 4, and Nurkic at the 5. That I feel like that could have worked out, but like, damn, man. And now they have 0 draft picks. They have no first rounders till about 2030, I want to say.
Yeah.
One first rounder till 2032, 0 second rounders till 2032 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And they have crazy contracts. I think personally, the Suns have to sell ass. They have to sell the fucking house, starting with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
They can probably get a good 7 first rounders out of the 2 if they traded both of them.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense, especially when you have your players, your star players, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, coming to you like, hey, we really need a point guard. And you're saying that, hey, I don't think so because I don't want to take the ball out of your guys' hands, out of Bradley Beal's hands. It's inexcusable, really.
Just a weird situation going on in Phoenix, man. I feel bad for them. They went from fucking going to the finals, 2 years ago?
Right, yeah.
To this. And first round bounces. It's sad, man.
Yeah.
It's real sad.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I think if you are the Phoenix Suns, you have to find a way to get some assets back.
They got to get something. They got to do something.
You're going to rot.
Or they're just going to fucking be hard-headed. And this is what I think actually is going to happen. I told you what should happen, but this is what's going to happen. They're going to be hard-headed, and they're going to run it back. And they're going to lose mad trade value because of it. Kevin Durant's going to lose a lot of trade value. That's another year. How old is he? He's in his 30s.
Yeah,
like
KD's
he's
coming
losing
down.
trade value by the year. You got to get rid of KD, man.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of him.
He's 35 years
He's
old,
go.
bro.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah. I don't really know what
Back to
else,
OKC too at that.
That Western Conference is way too stacked for you to look at that and be like, yeah, we could still compete with just like trying to salvage what we have left. You're not going to like this Timberwolves team, this Nuggets team. I mean, they're here to stay.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Let's talk
they're
about
thinking.
Minnesota. First of all, they handled the
handled
Nuggets last night.
They did.
Handled them. Anthony Edwards, man.
He's special. He's something different.
If I could pick any player to trade for, if I could pick any player to come on the Knicks, it would be Anthony Edwards.
Oh, 100%.
Any player in the league. Any player.
I mean, this is a night that Jaden McDaniels in 39 minutes shot 0 of 7. 0 points. And you still that's a big player on that team. And he might not be the number 2 scorer on that team, but you rely on him for some role play and efficiency, and you're still able to come out on top. A 7-point win on the road in Denver. That's impressive, man.
Setting the tone. And Minnesota really made me eat my words, man. I was talking mad shit on the Wolves in the beginning of the year, how they got fleeced by Utah to get Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is showing up and showing out.
Yeah, Gobert, Naz Reid.
Reid is 6th man of the year, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're dogs, man. They're absolute dogs there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, and shout out to Nas, Asbury's very own. So I think when you have a guy like Anthony Edwards that's always going to come out and set the tone for your team, like he came out and instantly put up those 13 points, and you knew what time he was on. I feel like when you have that type of energy in your star player, you automatically there's this sense of unison as a group that it's okay, just because they're the Denver Nuggets, they got Jokic, it's they want to step up to that challenge. And I feel like it's so important for a team to have a playoff riser like that, especially when it's your number 1 player. They're in a great spot.
So what are we projecting here for the Nuggets?
It goes 7.
It's gonna go 7.
I don't even know who wins, man.
I don't know who wins either, but Minnesota just put a real dent in
put a wrench
Denver's plans.
Their plans for sure, man.
Like people always say, the series really don't start till a road team wins, right? And they started that bitch up immediately. Yeah, we here. And Anthony Edwards is in his fucking bag. He's special. Like you said, he's a baby Jordan. He's something else. He's absolutely something else.
And it's not even, we see so many number 1s like Anthony Edwards, not even like him, but number 1 guys, number 1 options that come into the league. This is a 2-way player. He excels on both sides of the floor. Imaine says Denver in 6. And Imaine, I want to ask what you saw last night that made you think that. Or that, I'm not even saying that could be wrong, because this, Denver is such a crazy team to me that you could be right. I don't doubt that, but I don't know what you conclude from last night to come to that.
I still think Denver wins the series. Sadly.
Yeah.
I still think they get them in 7 or 6. I agree with Imaine, honestly, but man, Minnesota is really showing people that they're here no matter what happens in this series. That West is so stacked that they're always going to be competitors as long as they have Anthony Edwards and Cat and Rudy together. So
yeah,
shit, man.
I don't know. Shout out to we have 20 people on Twitter right now. Shout out to y'all that are tuning in.
24 people live. Man, what's up? Let's get it. Hey.
All right, let's keep things. You want to stay out west for this next series that we got going on, because the Mavericks are going to be playing the Thunder, and that's going to, dude, these Western Conference matchups are lit.
They're stacked.
These are lit. So how many games do you think it's going, and why? Because I don't know. Again, man.
I'm sorry, Imaine.
Yeah, this is the series.
This is the series where they go bye-bye. I think OKC.
That depth? Is it they
have
depth. So many wings too?
It's literally the depth. I feel like, obviously, Luka and Kyrie, there's no better
1-2 punch right now. That's left.
Guard punch. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, other than that, who do they really truly have that can take over a game? OKC from top to bottom is tough as fuck.
OKC's ridiculous, man.
I got OKC in either 6 or 7. It's going to be a long series.
All of these are
going to be hard fought.
Series,
it's going to be hard fought.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they lost Kleber, right?
Yeah.
That's going to hurt them. Chet's going to go off. I think SGA and Luka wash each other out, right?
It comes down to Kyrie.
It's going to come down to Kyrie.
But at the same time, J-Dub is incredible.
Woo!
And then you still have Lou Dort, who is going to be a pest on Kyrie the whole game.
He's a defensive specialist.
Yeah, so. That's all he needs to do. And now having the offensive firepower that OKC has, they don't rely on him for any offense. The past 2 years, I feel like they kind of needed 15 to 20 from him in order to have a good game and for them to win. But nowadays, Lou Dort could put up 5 for you, 5 to 10, and they're still going to get 100+ points. So I think OKC is definitely somebody. I'm going to go. I think I might have the Mavs in 7 this one.
Ooh.
And I don't really I'm not huge on the Mavs, like in
Didn't you
that
take the
sense,
Clippers last series?
I did, but that was with Kawhi.
Okay.
Clippers, like everybody healthy, Kawhi. But once I saw Kawhi was out, I knew what type time they were on. We were getting playoff piece stinkers, and this series could go either way.
It can't go
in
either way.
7.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins the series. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think Dallas is a very formidable opponent, but at the end of the day, I still got OKC. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
they're too tough. They're too deep, and it's gonna be interesting.
Who is the best player in this series? Do you think?
Obviously, it's between Shai Gilgeous and
I feel like I have to say Luka
but-
just because he's been here before.
Yeah, and that might be the reason
That's
why
I
Dallas
think they win.
wins the series, because OKC hasn't really been there before.
Right.
They haven't been in this position like that. This is the first year where they're really dominant. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? With this core, at least. And Luka's been there and done that multiple years in a row.
Yeah.
You know? So honestly, if there's gonna be a reason why Dallas wins, is because of their playoff experience.
Luka. I mean, says Luka as well. All right, fair enough.
But look, SGA is right there.
He
They're
is.
on the same tier. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, Luka's one of the best players in the league, but SGA's elite, top 5 player in
Yeah.
the league right now
Yeah.
as well. So
I agree. All right, you want to let's talk Knicks Pacers. We're
Knicks
talking
Pacers?
second round series.
mhm.
I got Knicks in 5.
I got Knicks in 5, and I'm being nice.
That really
And I'm
is,
being
bro.
nice. I don't care. I'm confident, and I don't like going in this, because this is exactly how we fucking felt going into the Miami series.
Yeah.
This is exactly how the Knicks felt going into the Miami series. Like, they beat the number 1 seed. We got the number 8 seed going into the second round. We thought shit was fucking sweet, right? And we got our ass handed to. But this is a different breed of team of Indiana.
There's nobody on Indiana that's nearly close to Jimmy Butler. We have their best player, Pascal Siakam, is
So Siakam's better than Halliburton.
quite frankly, this playoffs he's been. But Pascal Siakam is going to be guarded by OG Anunoby, and I feel like
Ooh.
that.
Food.
Listen, man,
Food.
those are former teammates that went at each other every single day in practice. And
Absolute food.
I'm taking OG in that side just because, listen, the defensive intangibles that OG Anunoby brings to a team are just, it is unreal watching this guy play basketball and what he
What
does.
are we
On the
like,
court.
26-4 with him right now?
Yeah, it's something
It's crazy.
absurd,
It's
bro.
crazy.
It's absurd. Even Iman has the Knicks in 6. That's how, I think that sure, Indiana loves to run and gun. That's something that they do very well. But the thing about this New York Knicks team is just they are going to out hustle you in every sense. And this is my legacy series. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, man. I'm the ultimate Halliburton hater, and I still think that he hasn't done well in this playoffs. Sure, I think he's going to get one game now from
He had that
but-
really impressive game winner.
right.
He baked Pat Bev on that fucking game winner, something crazy.
Yeah.
But this is what I have to say, and I'm gonna bring this point back again that we just talked about with Dallas and OKC, right? Indiana has not ever been here, ever, bro.
Right.
They are not tested. They are not hardened. They played a Dameless, Giannis-less Bucks.
Right.
Like I said, right? They did not go through the fire in the first round. They're not ready to get punched in the face. They're not ready to scrap. They're a soft team. Yes, they're a very fast-paced team. Yes, they can get buckets like no other. They're the number 1 offense in the NBA, actually.
But that defense is keeping other teams in the game.
That defense is ass cheeks.
The defense was keeping a team with no Dame or Giannis in the game.
And they're not ready for a Knicks type of physicality. They're not a physical team. I guess Miles Turner is a little physical, but
Come on, yeah.
come on, bro. Like they're not
Mitchell
ready.
Robinson's gonna have him in hell.
And they're not ready for MSG atmosphere. They're not ready for none of that shit.
Right.
They're not ready for it.
Listen, me and Wally Zerbiak, our legacy is on the line with this one. for Tyrese Halliburton, our legacy is on the line. I do think that this is also Obi Toppin. This means a lot to him this series because he's been actually a big piece for that Indiana team. He's kind of like a
And
big,
that's why I know we're gonna beat the fuck out of them. This is Obi fucking Toppin. Like,
Right.
Let's be fucking real here. Like, come on, guys. But here's a narrative that I saw on Twitter that really made me believe that the Knicks are gonna win this series. Is Jalen Brunson's animosity towards Rick Carlisle.
Yup. You got something to prove.
JB has a very big chip on his shoulder. He has scored 43 of the last 4 games.
Yep.
He's going to fuck Indiana up. Because, first of all, Tyrese Halliburton is a traffic cone on defense.
Yeah.
All right. The Indiana Pacers don't play defense.
Yep.
They're a running gun team. They're not like that. Period. They're
who
just
on
not.
that team is going to guard Jalen Brunson?
Nobody.
There's nobody.
Nobody could guard Jalen
It's going to be
Brunson.
TJ McConnell.
They're not. Look, Brunson's going to average 35 in this series.
At least.
At least 35 points a game.
And shout out to our friends over at the Strickland. This is
Strickland.
their post
I
on
fuck
Instagram.
with the Strickland, man.
Yeah, those are the boys. Tim McMahon says Jalen Brunson would absolutely enjoy lighting up the Indiana Pacers because of his history with Rick Carlisle.
Yep.
3 years ago, Jalen Brunson played 10 minutes in a Game 7 loss, and he didn't play a whole lot more in the previous few games. Rick basically pulled the plug on him. And I could assure you this, Jalen Brunson remembers getting benched in that series.
Yeah, and there was multiple film sessions where Rick Carlisle was chewing Jalen Brunson out.
And not Luka.
And not Luka, right. And Jalen Brunson remembers.
Yep.
He might have forgave, but he doesn't forget.
Yeah.
And he's gonna fuck Indiana up. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be bad.
Something
it's bad.
that really fired me up was seeing the moment when Tyrese Maxey went to help up Brunson and he just slapped his hand away. And I was like, okay.
We lost the game because of that. I want to tell you that, by the way, because that put a fire under Maxey's ass. Yeah.
But listen, we're not friends. And that's what I love about Jalen Brunson, what he brings to the game, because he's a quiet guy. But man, he was letting everybody know who he was in these.
Yeah, shit ain't sweet. I'm not here to fucking pity pat with y'all. I'm not here to be friends with y'all. I don't give a fuck about not being on the Team USA.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about not being an all-star starter. That's another chip on his shoulder, by the way. He has a chip on his shoulder. He has animosity towards Tyrese Halliburton, too.
Yeah.
Because everybody...
A fake all-star.
You know what I'm saying? Hey. It's going to get scary. I say Knicks in 5, and I'm being nice.
I don't know if you saw Sean, I hate Sean on Twitter, his whole rant. He said they crowned Tyrese Halliburton king of the world in November. And that was my favorite quote of his little rant. It was just like, we were ready after the in-season tournament to give Tyrese Halliburton the crown as the best point guard in the East. And Jalen Brunson now, when it matters, is saying, whoa, pal, let's slow things down. Mm-hmm. And that's why I just think this is going to be a great series for the New York Knicks. We match up incredibly well up and down. And I think the ultimate depth of this team, although we missed Bogdanovich, that was a loss. I can't even lie. That definitely hurts. We're going to miss him. But the depth of this New York Knicks team, I think, is going to be what ultimately overcomes the Indiana Pacers. I've seen people talking about how the Knicks are like low key. The Knicks are playing a 7-man rotation, and that's going. It's going to catch up to them. Yeah. What do you feel about that?
This is what we do.
It's a Tom Thibodeau team, baby.
This is a team where every player that's in the rotation gets at least 30 minutes a game.
Right.
And the average player gets 40 plus minutes a game.
Right.
And we've been doing this all fucking season.
Yo, I think OG played 53 minutes that OT game. Like, bro, that's the entire game and the entire OT. Like, that is crazy. But you know what? The players love it. Like, if you have a team, I feel like...
Has Josh Hart gotten off the court in the last 3 games?
No. Tom Thibodeau said it was a passing thought, and that he said, I let it pass. I mean,
I love it, man. Honestly, everybody's talking shit about it. Yada yada. Oh, it's not sustainable. It's not this. It's not that. Yes, it is. It's obviously working.
If you have the players that are willing to buy into it in that sense, I feel like it can't hurt you. I mean, it's a very fine line between pushing your guys to the maximum conditioning shape and then hurting them because of too much. And Tom Thibodeau, for his entire career, has been trying to toe that line. And I think now when you have the combination of Hart, literally Josh Hart, and the grit and grind of this team, they take that pride in that being their identity. I feel like it's just a recipe for success. And the Knicks are really giving me like those old Pistons vibes.
Man, it's special right now. It's special. And I'm very excited for this series, and I'm excited just for these playoffs in general. The playoffs this is a great first round.
Great series.
This was a great first round. Like, there was some very, very good series.
Yeah.
Especially the Knicks Sixers series. That was an awesome series.
Yep.
I mean, shit, man. This Cavs Magic is a great series going 7. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good playoff basketball going on, and this second round is really going to be special. Who do you think? Let's preview the winner of Cavs
I was just going to
Magic.
say, because now all of a sudden the
with
Cavs are
Boston.
only down 3. The Cavs are down 3. 7 minutes left in the third quarter. I don't know, man. I think the better matchup, Boston, I think, is looking and hoping the Cavaliers win this game because, listen, man, the last thing you want is Paolo coming in and outplaying Jason Tatum, who has been playing down to everyone. Not that even Paolo's under him really by that much, in my opinion. But Tatum is a playoff dropper as of late. I mean, him, Jaylen Brown, they haven't had great series.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Boston does the same shit every year. They made it to the finals one year, but usually it's the same trend. They'll make it past the first and they'll fold up in the second.
Mm-hmm.
They usually fold up. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think they're going to beat whoever wins
comes out of this.
Yeah. I think Paolo will, if the Magic win, I do think Paolo versus Tatum will be something great to watch. They're going to wash each other out, essentially. But I still think Boston's depth, and don't get me wrong, that Porzingis injury is going to fuck them over eventually.
I agree.
I'm telling you right now, that Porzingis injury is going to fuck them over eventually.
Yeah.
When it's going to happen, I can't tell you, but it's going to fuck them over eventually.
I mean, that was the off season for them, like aside
And
from the
Drew,
whole
obviously.
aside from the Drew thing, like that was their big, they needed rim protection. They needed a big guy down low that was going to be, a big asset to them. That hurts a lot. And now I think Porzingis is going to be kicking himself a little bit because you look over and look at the Dallas Mavericks, how they're doing over there. Could have been a part of something special.
I don't know. He didn't fit well with them. Though,
He didn't fit well with Luka.
It just didn't work out, bro.
It made sense until it didn't. Like until they got on the floor. Like on paper,
they were not good on the floor. On paper, yes, it was amazing, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a very interesting bag. I do think the Celtics win this series, whatever it is, in 5 or 6 tops. But winner, I mean, look, shit ain't sweet against the Knicks. If the Knicks make it past the Indiana Pacers, I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Like it is not going to be sweet for Boston.
Well, I mean, looking at this, would you rather start your team with Paolo Banchero or Jason Tatum? It's really tough, bro.
I honestly, Paolo, just because of his age. But if they were both coming out at the same time, I don't know. It would be up in the air. I'd probably take Tatum. But
I can't get over the fact that Tatum has just dropped.
I gotta see Paolo in the playoffs against
a good defense
against the Boston Celtics.
Right.
That's what I need to see because obviously the Cavs are sweet. I don't give a fuck what
the
anybody.
Cavs are so sweet.
This is a sweet first round for the Magic. So I'm not super impressed by Paolo to the point where I'm going to take him over Jason Tatum yet.
Right.
But we'll see who's really better next series if the Magic win.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now. We'll get our answer to that real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see the Magic because I think that, like, we know what the Cavaliers are, right? Like, the Cavaliers are going to go into the Celtics, and Donovan Mitchell's going to have his 2 games where he just lights them up. But aside from that, like, they're going to get eaten up from the wings. Jaylen Brown is going to eat that team up. Derek White's going to eat that team up.
Pause.
Yeah. No Diddy. And it's just going to be like, we know who the Cavs are. I feel like with the Magic, there's that magic, there's that wild card factor to where, like, hey, they could be a Cinderella type of team despite, they're a 5 seed, but they've never been here before. Let's see what they could do.
And the Magic are sneaky deep too. Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter.
Right. You got Isaac off the bench who's having a career year. You have Markelle Fultz, who is back. Cole Anthony, who is a solid point guard.
They're sneaky.
So yeah,
They're sneaky
Mo
deep.
Wagner, and you got Joe Ingles back there.
You got Joe Ingles?
They
I didn't
do,
even know
coming
they
off
had
the
Joe
bench.
Ingles. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
He's only got 2 minutes today, but hey, man, that's a 3-point specialist right there. That's a locker room guy. That first one in, last one out. Real lunch pail dude. Somebody you want your sister coming home with, Injury is just
what?
part of the Porzingis package.
This is a sick Negro.
But yeah, man. And those are all the series for them.
Those are all the series. Yep.
What should we talk about next?
I was gonna say, do we want to shift over to the NFL draft a little bit?
I was just thinking that.
But it's just like, listen, man. We're for those that are maybe you're new to the group, maybe you're new on Twitter. You don't know that we're Giants fans.
This is a New York podcast, low key. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I don't try and hide it, guys. We talk a lot of New York.
We talk about everybody, but we're not afraid to hide our.
We talk a lot of New York, bro. I don't care. But
Could Orlando be a landing spot for BI or PG before we go to
yes.
NFL?
Nah.
I don't
Look,
know.
they got
have
their
so
wing
many-
guys.
Yeah,
though.
they have
They got
so
their
many
wing guys.
wings.
They need a like a dominant one.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Cole Anthony's great.
I'm
but,
not gonna
like,
lie. If you put Jalen Brunson on that team, they might be headed to the finals. That would have been crazy. Just get everybody else over here. Get Paolo over here. We'll take him. But all right, NFL draft. Obviously, Caleb Williams goes number 1 overall. We all knew it was coming. Are you bought into Caleb Williams being a generational quarterback? Do you think he comes into this Bears organization and instantly flips the script?
Yes. I'm going to tell you why. They built a great offense around him this offseason.
They did.
They have Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
DeAndre Swift.
Even Cole Kmet is a really good
Serviceable
player,
tight end.
He's a good tight end.
Yeah.
They obviously need more offensive line help, but look, that Bears offense is going to be electric.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be popping off. And it's something that the Bears, when was the last time the Bears had an electric offense?
Brandon Marshall and Jay Cutler. Was that even electric? Like, they had good games, but they didn't have this offense looks dynamic on paper, at least.
On paper.
It looks very good. You keep just bolstering that offensive line, and I think they really can make some moves.
And here's the thing about Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams lives off of throwing on the run.
Right.
So even if they have a bad offensive line, he can sneak his way out of the pocket and make these Mahomes-like throws. Like,
Yeah.
That's what he did literally all throughout his USC career, was run around and make secondary plays, right? Like, I really like the Bears offense. Will they be a contender in the NFC North?
I was just going to say, because then
I don't think so.
You got
but
Green Bay,
Yeah.
who is honestly the second best team in the NFC, in my opinion. And then you have also the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Hello. Minnesota you don't have to worry about anymore. But still, man, I mean, I think they're going to take this year 1 and they're going to see what they do. But I think after that, you start attracting more and more free agents and more guys and seeing what you can plug in around Caleb Williams that's going to lead to some success.
what about Jaden Daniels?
Oh, man.
What is his career going to look like going to this poverty franchise of the Washington Commanders?
It's going to look
Is he
like,
going to make the franchise, or is it going to he's going to go burning in hell?
listen, man, the bad franchises stay bad for a reason. That's my ultimate thought process. I think Drake May was the clear-cut choice here. Jaden, yeah.
Do you really?
I think his pocket presence, his ability to throw on the run and into tight spaces just is a little bit better than what Jaden Daniels has to offer. Unless Jaden Daniels has a solidified line and he has a second to make that throw, I think Drake May is definitely a better.
Listen, I think
NFL
all
quarterback.
3 of the top 3 quarterbacks, the top 3 picks, are amazing prospects, right? I've never seen a QB class like this since Eli's year with
Breeze.
Roethlisberger and Breeze.
Right.
Yeah. But man, I don't know if I can say Drake May is the better prospect. We're gonna really have to see, because it's the Washington Commanders at the end of the day. I don't know. It could really fuck over Jaden Daniels.
It could ruin his career.
Fucking shit.
It
It could
could
fuck everything up going to that team. But let's not pretend like Jaden Daniels didn't break Joe Burrow's passing yard records, passing touchdown records, rushing yard records.
I just still I get that part, but I also wouldn't have taken Jaden Daniels over Joe Burrow as far as a prospect.
I agree with that. And honestly, Jaden Daniels he wasn't this kind of guy until he got to LSU. When he was on Arizona State, we didn't know who Jaden Daniels was.
Right.
But Drake May,
Down at USC, we still find out who Drake May is.
This is the knock I have on Drake May. He's in the ACC.
Right. He hasn't played NFL
He ain't
level
play no real shit yet. Like, and you could give that same type of knock to Daniel Jones when he was coming out of Duke, right? You're an ACC team. You're not really playing these SEC teams. But
Right.
Jaden Daniels fucked shit up in the SEC. Played real NFL-ready college defenses.
Right.
And really worked them boys. He really worked them boys, too. So it's like, I don't know. And honestly, the Patriots haven't been much of a franchise since Brady left either.
No, they haven't.
They
And
haven't.
you got no Billy B anymore, so it's like, where are we gonna go?
I don't know what kind of franchise the Patriots are. I mean, the last thing I seen about the Patriots was Robert Kraft getting rubbed down and getting happy endings.
That's true. Aside from
Right?
Brady and Belichick, like them aside, it hasn't been good stuff.
It hasn't. It hasn't been impressive at all, their franchise. The fact that they drafted Mac Jones and stuck with him for as long as they did
Was bad.
really concerns me with that franchise.
It was bad.
It really fucking concerns me. And I don't know.
All right, Marvin Harrison Jr. over to Arizona. I love it.
I love it.
I love it, man. And I think this is going to be a year one impact player because Kyler Murray gets a lot of flack when he is not a bad quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback. And I'm going to tell you something. When he has a number one wide receiver like a DeAndre Hopkins, right? Like a Larry Fitzgerald in his prime, he is him.
He's a dog.
He is him. I don't care.
Yep.
It's when he loses DeAndre Hopkins to suspension and to injury is when
PDs,
the Cardinals go to shit every time.
Right.
Right.
Or injuries. Like Zach Ertz got hurt. They were using him great until he
was
hurt.
going crazy.
And
Yeah.
then, Kyler Murray had his ACL tear and that set them back. But other than that, like Marvin Harrison's a guy that's going to come in and he's going to be your number one receiver the day he walks in that door. And I think it's going to be like a tone setter, him and Kyler Murray.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be an absolute monster in this NFL. He has potential to win Rookie of the Year. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is that good.
Yeah.
He is that good that he could win Rookie of the Year over Caleb Williams.
He was the safest pick in this draft. Easily, I think, because he's a pro's pro. You know what you're getting from him is something that's going to be there throughout his career. His route running, his savviness, his body control. That's not something that you lose with age or even injury, really. Like those are just mental skills that he brings to the table that other guys just don't have.
And let's not forget his genetics.
Yeah, and on top of that, he has the athleticism and the speed. He's all around just a fantastic pick, and I really liked
probably the best wide receiver prospect I would say since Jamar Chase. I would say, yeah, he's tough.
He's him.
He's tough.
And I think that's a pick that you don't even have to like worry about overthinking or anything like that. Like that's just a surefire way to get yourself a great receiver.
Yeah, he's gonna be him, and I can see him putting up big yards, big touchdowns. He's a no-brainer in fantasy this season, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's a no-brainer.
For sure.
He could be a second-round pick in the fantasy.
Probably. I'm going to try and squeak him in the third if I could wait. Get like, I'm going to probably go like running back, wide receiver, then come back for my second running back. That's what I'm thinking. All right. Number 5.
Now, this is where I got a little confused, right? The Chargers, I mean, obviously they have trouble on their O-line, right? But they literally got rid of their whole wide receiver core.
Everybody, bro.
I thought Malik Neighbors was going number 5. I really did. But they picked Joe Alt. And look, it's not the wrong pick. It's a very safe pick for the Chargers.
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's a safe pick.
But like, damn.
You left
Neighbors, Herbert to Neighbors would have been something crazy, bro.
But at the same time,
would have been something crazy.
We said Quentin Johnston, when he went there, we were like, man, he's gonna go nuts with them. So it's like I don't know. Like I get it, but it does come down to the offensive line. I think this was the safest pick because you look at him. This is Joe Alt. He was wearing just a classic Cartier button up. Like it was something. No aura, no crazy name, nothing like that. Just good football. And that's all he cares about.
Have you seen Joe Alt's like Instagram? He just looks like a Hall of Famer lineman.
He does.
He's a fishing guy.
Exactly.
He's all about his business. He's not here to fuck around.
Yeah.
And look, it's a safe pick, but you left some seats empty.
He reminds me of Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I got. Like
it's not a sexy pick.
It's not. People aren't going to love it, but at the same time, you're probably going to look back 5 years from now and you're going to be like, wow, that guy's our franchise cornerstone on the offensive line.
Yeah. Yeah. And Herbert was getting hurt. So I can see them trying to protect their quarterback on the blind side, especially.
I get that.
So
I get
it's whatever. It's whatever. And, because of that, the Giants got
at number 6,
Malik Neighbors from LSU. And I'm very, very excited.
I am very excited.
I'm ecstatic over the pick, honestly. I love Malik Neighbors.
I love him. I just don't know who's going to be getting him the ball.
Look, this is how I look at it, right? Even if it is Daniel Jones for a first year and we stink it up, right? We're going to get Malik Neighbors, his guy, that next offseason.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's a 4-year contract. He ain't going nowhere, right? It's not like he's going to get flustered in year 1 and be like, oh, I demand a trade. You're not going anywhere, bud. You're locked in for 4 years.
Right.
So we're going to get you your quarterback after year 1 year. Malik Neighbors is not even happy he's on the Giants. He's pissed, honestly.
I saw that.
He's pissed. He's not happy. He's not happy. He's on the Giants. And honestly, I don't fucking blame him. I don't blame him. But it's going to work out. I really, truly believe it's going to work out for the Giants after they move on from fucking Daniel Jones. Hey, you never know. Drew Lock could be starting eventually next year too. And I think he could throw the ball to Malik Neighbors pretty well. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It was, I saw something that was like, do you want to play Drew Lock and have some fun while you lose? Or do you want to play Daniel Jones and have everybody hate watching Giants football while still losing? Like, we're going to lose regardless. It's just what way are we trying to go out this season?
Look, I don't know about, I'm going to expect, the expectation is the Giants are going to be bad, right?
I'm saying 6 wins, max.
But I do like the direction they're going.
No,
I do like what they did this offseason.
I do
Don't
too.
get me wrong.
It's just not like
we
gonna
shored up that
translate yet.
offensive line. We did a lot of things on defense.
Right.
And listen, just because we didn't get that franchise cornerstone quarterback is okay. We tried. We literally tried to move up for Drake May. Even Minnesota. Look, Patriots were not entertaining anything because Minnesota offered their first pick this year, their first pick next year.
Right. They tried their best.
I forgot what else that trade package was. It was a pretty hefty trade package, and the Patriots were like, "Nah, we're taking Drake May.
Yeah, that's our guy.
We're taking him." So, hey, it is what it is. I'm just happy the Giants didn't overreach for the quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't sell our ass for it.
Right.
But we're gonna get our guy next offseason.
That's
regardless. We're gonna get our guy, whether it's a veteran, we bring a veteran bridge guy in that can sling rock, or we draft somebody. You know, I think Malik Neighbors will get his guy.
I think so too.
What was pick 7?
Pick 7 was another wide receiver, I believe. Hold up.
I forget what pick 7 was.
I just had this on here. Now it's refreshing. Pick 7 was, O tackle. JC Latham to Tennessee.
Good pick. I've got much analysis on that. I can't lie.
I mean, but then again, like, you got to look at where the team is at. Like, that team is going nowhere, right? So they're just solidifying their front lines. Now, number 8 is where we start chatting a little bit. There's some discourse to be had because number 8 was
very
Michael
interesting
Penix
pick.
Jr.
Yes. Now, there was a lot of flack for this pick. Oh, why did you pay Kirk Cousins all this money just to draft Michael Penix? But listen, man, I like the pick. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. I like the Michael Penix Jr. pick because out of all the quarterback prospects, I liked his arm the most.
Right.
I liked his arm the most.
His pocket presence. He stands tall. The only thing that, like, I haven't, like, the only knock you could probably find on him is that he is older than a lot of these other quarterbacks in the league that are already, like,
and obviously got injured a lot too. 2 ACLs.
Right. So, like, there's risk to be had, but then again, like, the reward factor of it is that you have a chance to bring in a guy who's going to give Kirk Cousins competition, and he fits the timeline of Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson.
That offense is going to be electric.
They're going to find a way.
Even with Cousins. I don't care. I think that Atlanta offense is going to be tough next year. I don't care. Because Kirk Cousins can throw the ball. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. He can throw the fucking ball.
Yeah.
But Atlanta, one thing I've learned about Atlanta in these recent drafts is that they're going to take their guy, and they don't give a fuck where it's at. Because they took Bijan at 8, which was kind of a crazy pick at the time, but he's amazing now. But I feel like they feel the same exact way about Penix that they did about Bijan. Like, look, we could trade down, we could do this, we could do that, and still get Penix, but we're not even gonna fuck around with the fuck around.
Right.
We're gonna fucking take him. Period. We're taking him at 8. We're gonna get our guy. Period.
Right. And I feel like he needs, like I mean, he gets to sit behind Kirk, learn
a good veteran to sit behind. Honestly, a great veteran to sit behind. and learn. You know, Kirk is a seasoned veteran. He knows how to get his guys the ball.
Yeah.
And I love Penix. I've always been a Penix guy all through college. And he went to 2 playoffs in a row. He went to the national championship last year. Like, he's a fucking good quarterback. And I'm surprised he fell the way he did. Yeah, obviously it's the age and the injuries, but honestly, he's just as good as a prospect as far as throwing the ball as Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. He had 1 bad game in 2 years. It is what it is. Who was 9?
Number 9 is... And see, like, the thing about the Penix thing, too, is, like, when you're sitting here looking at Kirk Cousins, like, is this a guy you can trust that's like, oh, no, we don't need anybody else? Like, he's coming off of an ACL, or what was it, an Achilles tear, right?
I thought it was ACL.
It's one of the two in which it's not something that you can instantly be back from. So it's almost like an insurance pick. If you saw the guy on the board, you may as well go and take him.
So who was 9? We'll do the top 10 picks.
Number 9 was Rome Odunze.
Oh, Rona to the Bears, right? We didn't even mention Rona Odunze when we were talking about the Bears earlier. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rona Odunze, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Dogs.
Look, hey, bro. Hey. Telling you.
Yeah, and I mean said it was ACL. So yeah, Kirk. I don't know, man. I like the Penix pick. I don't think that's going to be something you're looking back and you're like regretful on. So I don't know.
We'll see what happens. And we'll wrap up the draft top 10 picks. What was number 10?
And with number 10, and I think that was honestly like what really impressed me was the way that the Bears were able to get the most out of both of their top 10s. Number 10 was JJ to Minnesota.
I don't know about JJ, man.
I thought he was going to fall to like 18 to 20. That's originally what my anticipation.
That was the Vikings reached, I think.
Yeah.
I think they reached. I don't think JJ is really as good as advertised. I don't know. He did everything right in Michigan. I feel like a good comparison to JJ McCarthy is Brock Purdy.
That could be a good comparison. Is he a system quarterback?
He's a system quarterback. If you have a really, really good team around him, he can be really good. But if you have dog shit around him,
right,
or if you don't put him in the right system and you try to make him an air raid quarterback, he's more of a game manager to me. He's a glorified game manager. And look, there's nothing wrong with being a good game manager. I always say that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't draft game managers top 10.
No, you don't draft a game manager.
You don't do it.
Him to turn around your franchise.
You don't exactly. You don't draft game managers in the first round.
You don't draft a game manager expecting Justin Jefferson to see that and be, encouraged to stay.
Justin Jefferson, this is this last season.
Welcome to Justin Jefferson. Welcome to New York.
No, here you go. But yeah, Justin Jefferson's the fuck out of it. Once he sees that JJ McCarthy can't throw the ball like Kirk Cousins,
yeah,
it's gonna get very ugly very quick.
It is,
and he's gonna demand a trade.
Yeah,
no, I can see it. All right, that'll wrap up the draft. I have one more subject that we should talk about, and that's BBL Dreezy. We don't ever talk about hip hop on this podcast. Everyone, this is actually our first time talking rap.
And according to you guys on Facebook, I can't even speak upon the situation.
Neither can I.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know, but we're gonna talk about it. Who won this beef? Because obviously Kendrick dropped 3 back to back, all in one motherfucking day, bro.
Came straight forward,
and it got better and better and better.
Now, do you believe that he was fed some false information?
I don't know. I don't know if he got fed false information because that's what the Drake stands are saying. Like,
it's all the stands that are saying
the cover art was a bait. It was a setup.
And the daughter thing, she was an actor in the.
Ooh.
I did see that the daughter was also a child actress in the All My Life video. The alleged daughter was in the J. Cole and Dirk's All My Life. Where they had the kids in the chorus.
Yeah. Interesting.
That part, I'm like, okay, there could be something to that.
But I think the album cover, Twitter fact checked it. I saw it today.
Okay.
They said Kendrick took it down because you can't put other people's prescription bottles on your album cover.
Right. That makes sense.
And that was a Twitter fact check. I guess they're pretty reputable people. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But as far as actual rapping goes, as far as like delivery, as far as exposing shit, as far as like all that goes, Kendrick hands down won this battle. I don't care what anybody says.
It's really bad.
I don't care what anybody says. Kendrick.
What can Drake do to come back from this?
I honestly, I'm at that stage where I'm over it. I hope not like us. That was the best song Kendrick put out so far. Honestly, was Not Like Us. That shit was hard. DJ Mustard beat. That shit was going crazy.
That was ridiculous.
A minor line, the ATL, and oh my God, he exposed him in so many different ways once again. And like Drake doesn't have that type of ammo on Kendrick because Kendrick is a genuine person in my opinion. I think Kendrick, he's not outside. He's not out here being a degenerate.
The
like
worst
Drake
thing
is.
Was that Drake said, really, like aside from him, I think the allegation of him hitting
his
ex
wife
or something was that you're raising another man's kid and that child isn't yours. But even then, is like, I don't get how that's necessarily a diss on Kendrick like that if he's aware of the situation and he's just been like,
if he beat his wife.
Well, that part. Yeah.
All right,
that part.
Like that's that's pretty shitty of Kendrick. But other than that, I never got the vibe from Kendrick that he's a degenerate one, a bad person, like that he has ulterior motives, that he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that behind your back. He hasn't really fucked anybody over in the industry. Drake lives off of fucking people over, bro.
He does.
He lives off of it. He lives off of fucking bitches. He lives off of fucking people over in the industry. He lives off a fucking young woman.
That's just crazy.
And it all came to surface. It all came to light. And Drake got really exposed. But I do give Drake props because if there was anybody that could actually go toe-to-toe with Kendrick and for there to actually be a debate on who won, it would be Drake. Right? So I'll give Drake props on that. But this really was a Kendrick legacy run right here.
It was.
This really showed people who hate Kendrick, people that aren't really into the lyrical raps, that are just like, they just want an easy listen, that yes, Kendrick is him. And he is the best rapper alive. Actual rapper. Rapping. I'm talking about rapping.
Get back to making music,
I'm talking about actual rapping.
Right. Metro's making drums.
Nobody is fucking with Kendrick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just the truth. It's just the facts.
It's up there. Yeah.
And he proved it with this exchange. And it's a come up. I think this is a whole big rollout though for Kendrick. I think he's gonna drop an album.
I think so too.
He's
got it.
He went from not putting out any music
3 songs
in 4 years
2 days
to putting out 3 songs in 2 days. He's using all this momentum, and I think he's gonna drop.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna drop a classic. And it's gonna be amazing when he does. And hey. How do you feel about the BBL Drizzy beat?
That was hysterical. And it's genius. Free, like, best verse
This
over
is a sick Negro.
Best verse gets a free beat.
So now he has hundreds and hundreds of rappers making Drake disses.
Right, exactly.
That was a good chess move by.
And I saw somebody in our Facebook group say if Drake wants to, like, do any, like, if Drake's best move would be to make a verse over that to kind of, like, make it comedic, but then he has to pay for the rights. So you're paying Metro in the end.
True.
They got you.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But Drake's comment on the actual beat was actually hilarious. Though he's like, wow, you chefed up a beat about my ass.
That is crazy. That is crazy. I also don't doubt Drake having like any type of, like, Drake definitely has had lipo. He's had work done on his abs. Like, you could tell, like, you look at the guy and he looks odd.
Yeah, Drake has a lot of skeletons in his closet. And I still think actually Kendrick still has more skeletons that he can expose. I think Drake does not respond anymore. I think it's in his better interest to just leave it to what it was, to what it is, because it could get even more ugly for Drake. Honestly, it really can. But at the end of the day, I still give Drake mad respect on the music making front. I don't respect him as a person really at all, because those claims are crazy,
nuts,
are insane, and I don't support PEDO. I don't respect any of that. Fuck you if you're one of those. All right, you deserve to die. But as far as the music goes, I give Drake respect on that.
Crazy.
And I think that'll wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, that's how we'll cap this one off. We appreciate y'all.
Oh, 50 y'all in the chat. What up?
Yeah,
I
appreciate y'all
respect
for
that.
tuning in. That's
I
the
love
real
y'all. I
shit.
love y'all, boys, man.
We'll catch y'all this week. We're going to be talking some more round 2. If anything else happens within football, we'll be talking that. But a lot of NBA playoffs heating up. And anything else that you guys can think of, drop a comment and let us know what you want us to chat about.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about, man.
Yes, sir.
For real.
We'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.